you decide not to, and then that's the consequences.
I thought you were going
And
to show us this little screaming baby. I was hoping to.
and just, that's okay. I was like, I'm dealing with these consequences,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Red hot underdogs rising the night. Amps acting through, we bringing the fight. Talk about the game ain't just one side. Whistles blowing, sirens loud wide. Energy pumping, scheming plot. Nothing too small, nothing forgot. Boxing gloves
Three,
and footy kicks.
2,
Sport and
1. And we're back in racing. Hello and welcome to the Red Hot Underdog. I am Anzac. I almost forgot. And with me tonight is the ever incredible, uncontained, often imitated, never duplicated. His name is Drewy. Put your hands together.
Hey, buddy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast that is always willing to break a few windows in order to get to the truth.
Smash them out. Smash out those black cab windows. Kick them out. Kicking them out. We're window kickers, not window lickers. We're window kickers.
Absolutely. And talking about smashing windows, we don't like to see people fall from grace.
No.
Occasionally it's a little bit fun, so let's not virtue signal
Yeah, I
and
do.
gaslight and pretend that,
I do.
we're not totally against it.
I do like to see people fall from grace, but not everybody. But I do like to see, psychopathic, lesbian, racist, fucking crazy people fall from grace.
Speaking of which, the much beloved for many years,
Yes.
Sam Kerr.
Sam Kerr.
Now, unfortunately, in Australia, she's gone from being labelled as our Sam to probably now being labelled someone else's Sam.
Yeah, she's not ours anymore. England.
No, I think Australia's
have her.
kind of distancing ourselves from
Yeah,
her.
England can have
Yeah.
her. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment. Can you sum up what happened, Drew? So, it was big news before. It's big news again now because her trial's on now. But what did she do all those many months ago?
Yeah, so unfortunately, she's, as you know, or as watchers or listeners of the podcast know, she's heavily embroiled in a court case at the moment, which could actually send her to jail.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
So we'll see what happens.
Will they send her to a
And
woman's jail or a man's jail?
uh look, I think it's just I've got no idea. That's up for the judge to decide.
Yeah.
But whatever the case, the thing is the actual incident happened on January the 30th.
Okay.
January the 30th, 2023. So this was a few years ago.
Yeah.
30th of January, 2023. She'd just come off having a hat-trick performance against Liverpool in the fourth round of the FA Cup.
Women's. Yeah.
Yeah, the women's, and went for a big night on the tiles with her partner.
Yep.
And unfortunately, with Christy Mewis, her partner, and her...
Who's pretty hot. Are we allowed to say that? She's a bit of a hottie. She's the hottie in that relationship. Yeah.
She's more of the smoke show of the equation, I've got to say.
Yeah.
However, the situation then became they had few too many, shall we say, sherbets. And too much of a big night. Got in the cab on the way home.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what used to be our Sam, which is now someone else's Sam, decided to throw up outside the window. Better outside the window than in the cab.
Yeah, so she leaned out and she puked on the side of the cab, not in the cab, but she tried to get the puke out of there. Anyway, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Now we don't have an instant replay screen, unfortunately, or video cam. So I
of her
would say
puking.
that a lot of it
Yeah,
splashed along the outside of the cab, and I dare say
yeah.
some would have been on the inside of the cab too, because
You
I
know,
dare say that
yeah.
traveling at that speed, you'd have a bit of blowback action.
Any speed at all, Drew, you vomit. It's well, actually, when you vomit, it actually does. It doesn't dribble out. It heaves out, doesn't it? So I was about to say
Yeah.
that when you vomit outside a cab, you're always going to get
Mm.
some on the cab, but maybe not. Have you ever done that? Have you ever?
Yeah, I haven't. Occasionally, I guess you could have a bit of the boomerang effect, which you don't really want, where it just comes straight back at you.
Yeah,
It kind of depends on your trajectory of the mouth.
yeah.
Not that I'm a great big expert at this, but
And wind, and speed, and shape of the
yeah.
window.
So
That there's a lot of things. It depends on a lot of things. That you're right. Yeah,
there are a lot of things.
yeah,
Unfortunately, this poor cab driver just trying to do his bloody job,
yeah. Nice
and
guy.
these two Muppets
Yeah, yep,
are interrupting his night and his earning capacity.
yep.
Now, I don't like to kick somebody while they're down, but I'm sorry, the whole celebrity privilege goes straight out the window for
Yeah,
mine here.
yeah.
I think the cabbie was totally correct in what he did.
What did
He
he do?
actually rang the police
Yep,
in the cab,
yep.
and then he asked what should he do. They said, you need to come to the station.
Come to the station.
So,
Yep, yep.
yeah. So essentially, after
Did the
Sam ended
did
up
the cabbie
in,
know that he had? Do we call them celebrities? Yeah, I mean, they're not A grade. Are
well,
they A
Sam
grade
Kerr
celebrities?
is.
They're athletes. That did he know that? Like, is that a thing? Like, would that have changed things? Or
I don't think he knew it, and I don't think that he cared.
yeah,
I think that a lot of people don't care if they're celebrities or not. He
yeah,
just wants to earn his money and do
yeah,
his job
yeah,
like everyone else.
yeah,
It wouldn't matter if it was Michael Jordan or the person painting your house. He
yeah.
doesn't care. He
You
just
get a
wants to
cab.
earn his
Gotta,
money.
you're getting a service. You don't get in if you're not going to pay for it. If you vomit in the cab, you should pay for it. You should pay more money. That's because it's cleaning.
Yeah, correct. Now, what the cabbie claims is he wanted them to pay, obviously, for the vomit and to get the car washed,
Mm.
and obviously for the cab fee.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they were none too happy about paying for the vomit,
No.
even though back at the station, Sam Kerr says she was willing to pay for the
Yeah.
vomit.
Yeah.
But in saying that, whether she was or she wasn't, there's
Yeah.
a very strong case to say that if he drops them off
Yeah.
and they just pay for the cab ride and say, no, we're not paying for the vomit,
Yeah.
then that has essentially stuffed up his whole shift for the rest of the night
Yeah. Yeah.
or the morning, as it were.
Yeah.
And that really lowers his earning capacity. Then he has to fork out for it. So he's got to make a sure thing that he gets well and truly compensated
Yeah.
for that particular indiscretion.
Yep. 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 He did the right thing. He called the cops. He took them straight to the cops. And as they were
Yes.
going to the cops,
Yes.
they kicked out the window.
Yes. So I
And,
think
and at the police station, then sorry, you take over, Drew. You take over. And then what happened? They kicked out the window. They got to the cop station. Were they very lovely and polite to those public servants? I mean, you think of English coppers and you do think they're polite. It's true, right? You do think, oh wow, they're very polite. But they were polite in the video. Tell us what happened, Drewy. Tell us what happened.
yeah, well, there has been a leaked video for this, and unfortunately, this whole situation should have well and truly been handled so much better by both Sam Kerr and her partner,
Yeah.
Christy Mewis. But unfortunately, Sam has well and truly kicked a bit of an own goal on this one.
Yep. Yep.
I do believe. And the copper was trying to be polite. He was
Yep.
trying to get to the bottom of everything. And I think the thing that really riled them up was he was actually trying to hold both Sam and Christy accountable for their actions.
Yeah, well, Jesus, is that so wrong? Being held accountable for puking in a cab and kicking out a window, they should be held responsible. What type of person shouldn't be held? What because she threatened the lawyers or something, or she thinks she's this wonderful big Chelsea player that she can do that to other, the hard-working man. Is that it?
Yeah, look, I am certainly not trying to excuse Sam Kerr. I'm just trying to reconcile with the situation as to her thought processes. And I sort of feel as though when you're given that much adulation and you're the Australian captain, you've got so many backslappers, when you do the wrong thing and you're so used to everybody bowing down and kissing the ring, as it were,
Yeah.
I think that you don't really want to face adversity when it finally comes your way, because the rest of your life is just like the stream from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, filled with rainbows and candy and all sorts of delights. And unfortunately, as what was said in A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. And the truth is, they're a disgrace in the cab. They needed to pay for the cab fare. They needed to pay for the vomit. And finally, they needed to pay for the window, which was actually kicked out by Christy Mewis, who is Sam Kerr's partner.
Yep. And she's up the duff now.
She is up the duff. So they did a bit of a tag team on the cab.
Oh.
Sam Kerr said, right, I'm going to throw up on or slash in the cab. And Christy goes, right, tag me in. Yeah. I'm going to smash the window.
They should get into wrestling. This is a WWF waiting to happen, Like,
absolutely. Instead of SmackDown, it's more like Smashdown.
Smashdown. And I've got a few of the comments that I'll read to you. I'll put them on the screen and stuff. So Kerr said, we could not get out of the car. So yeah, that's her argument. She thinks they were being kidnapped. I mean, like that's her way of getting out of paying for the damage, because she interpreted, them driving to the police station. Maybe he didn't tell them we're going to the police station. Well, what did he think? He was like, where did she think? She's like, she's puked. She's like, stop the car. He's like, no. Did he say I'm going to the police station, or did he was like just driving? Who knows?
He's actually claimed that he did. She claimed that he didn't. But regardless of the situation, he actually said, you're going to be held accountable for this. I can't drop you home at the present time. And I dare say he would have said that he was going to the police station. They claimed that they went to ring the cops and that they were put on hold. And in the actual station, they said, we rang 911. And the police said, well, it's not 911 here in England, you muppets. And they're, fully
reference number. So lies. It was just lies, wasn't it?
You can't really believe much of what they say, given that they're pissed to the gills and they're trying to sort of create a case for themselves. But it's the old saying of, if you're in the wrong, you can't afford to lose control. When you're in the right, you don't need to lose control. And if the interview was anything to go by in the police station, it was just an absolute treasure trove of expletives from arsehole to breakfast. It actually sounded like Morse code. There were so many beeps in there.
But it was 30 minutes, exciting stuff, I've got a couple here. I loved it. Sam Kerr, I've got all the effing people in the world. So she's referring to everybody's on her side. Maybe she can treat people like this because she has all the people in the world. Do you believe the taxi driver? What are you saying? We should pay £850. He would not let us go. And then she says, they were holding her hostage. The
Yes.
taxi driver was hurt. And he's like, no, no. The cop is like, no, 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 no. The cop is like, you know, he was going to a police station. He called
Mm.
us and we told him to come to the police station. And that's what was happening. I mean, if she called the cops, she could have spoken to the cops and said, I'm in the cab. What's going on? They would have said, yep, well, you puked in the cab. They're taking you to the police station. Okay. But all they did is make a hoo and ha saying, let me out of here, and try and bust out of that back seat. Um, she also said,
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but when a male is driving the car fast with two women, it's effed. It's effing scary. You are acting like we're lying. Well, they are lying for a start. And secondly,
Yeah.
they got into the cab knowing he was a male driver. Like there's male
Yeah.
drivers driving women all the time. That's not
Hmm.
scary. So she brought the race thing into it that I haven't even said yet, but she's also brought the victim woman thing into it as well. I'm a victim
Yeah.
because I'm a woman, we're two women in the car with a male driver. So I must be a victim.
Well, what is quite funny is so they want to play the race card and the woman card when it suits them.
Yep.
And the funny thing is that she goes, oh, we're really terrified. He was driving erratically. It has also been confirmed that neither of them were wearing a seatbelt in the cab.
Well, it's hard to
So,
wear a seatbelt when you're vomiting out of the window, Drewy.
yeah, but it just adds further evidence to the narrative in the driver's favor. You think about it, there is absolutely no seatbelt being worn. There's vomit all over the cab. There's a smashed window. There's a complete recipe for disaster, and there's no leg to stand on in your defense, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's just a lose-lose for them. Sam Kerr kicking an own goal, and I think her stocks have just completely plummeted so far as being a sufficient role model is concerned.
Yeah. She did say that she would pay the bill of the cab. She did say she would pay the bill of the vomit, but she said she will not. Like she was given a choice by the copper. The copper said,
Yes.
look, you got one or two choices. You can pay the bill for the cab, the vomit, and the damage you caused, or we
Yeah.
can take this further. And then she brought on the race card and called him stupid white man and all that stuff. And so
Yeah.
it just, she dug her own grave. Do you know what I mean? She could
Yeah.
have got out of this. She could have got out of this and it would have just ended over a few £100. And now she's paying lawyers, like,
Yeah.
she mentioned, I've got the Chelsea lawyers, you know, they're not going to be free, you know.
Yeah,
They're
she could
gonna,
have completely got out of it so much easily, and she made it so hard for herself. And you know what? The whole case is filled with so many stupid hypocrisies.
yeah,
So she said, oh, you're a stupid white cop. You wouldn't know anything about any of this.
you
You're just
are
filled
effing
with
stupid and
white
white.
privilege.
Effing stupid and white. Yeah, you're white privileged.
And
Yeah,
and he's actually now taken her to court. So she's been charged with racially aggravated assault.
yeah,
So I think he's just decided, you know what?
yeah,
Whether I'm being seen as precious or not, I'm going to extend the middle finger because I didn't appreciate the
yeah,
way I was spoken to. I didn't appreciate the way the cabbie was treated.
yeah, yeah,
And you need to be held accountable for this.
yeah,
And to be perfectly honest, I don't exactly blame him.
yeah,
And another interesting moment that was brought up was apparently the window was smashed some 50 to 100 meters away from the actual police station.
yeah.
Now, the girls were claiming, oh, we smashed the window because we needed to escape and we needed to get out. And then comically, the
Jump
actual
out the
police
window of a
said,
moving cab, you know?
said, well, the funny thing is you're still sitting in the cab
Yeah,
when it arrived at the police station.
yeah,
At no point had you tried to mimic Indiana Jones
yeah,
and jump from a moving cab.
yeah, yeah.
How bloody stupid.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's just, look, the whole thing has got massive holes in it.
mm,
I think as far as her standing is concerned, I've seen some people like absolutely mental. I can't even fathom the mental gymnastics that goes on in people's heads
yeah.
when they say, "Oh, do you think her Australian captaincy will be called into question?" Well, yes, of course it will. She should be absolutely stripped. Why are we even questioning
Yeah,
this?
yeah, it's embarrassing. And you know what, gets me as well, how she's playing the racism card. But you actually
Yeah.
look at Sam Kerr, you know, and you look at an Aboriginal, and she doesn't look black at all. She doesn't look black. So why would people treat her differently because she claims to be black? She doesn't even look black,
No,
like
so
just saying you are something doesn't mean you're something. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure she's got some distant relative connection to Aboriginal, but it's not going to be dominant, is it? You know?
So, from what I believe, she's actually got one of her parents is Caucasian and one of them is Indian,
Okay, there you
from
go.
what I believe.
So,
So,
so
so
is she Aboriginal? Is she claiming to be Aboriginal? She's
I
got
don't believe so. I believe part of the mixed ethnicity of her comes from an Indian side of
okay. I
India.
thought
So,
she's
yeah.
claiming to be Aboriginal. That's what I thought these days. So
And
she's not.
I would, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, just to interject, I would
Yeah.
say, given by her surname, the Indian side would come from her mum because Kerr doesn't exactly sound like an Indian
No,
surname.
it's Aussie, it's English, yeah, it's British or
So yeah,
European. Who knows? Uh,
there you go.
anyway, so there you go. I thought she was Aboriginal, playing the Aboriginal card. That's the world we live in now, where people say, "Oh, I'm claiming to be Aboriginal," and they look as white as a polar bear. And I'm not saying she looks as white as a polar bear, but she looks half Indian. That's what she looks like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
claimable. Oh yeah, I'm not as white as you. You got white privilege and I don't. Look at me, I'm this poor captain of this fucking soccer team, like seriously. Absolute
Well,
entitled bullshit, Drewy. Entitled bullshit.
the defense, sorry, the prosecuting lawyer actually kind of destroyed her in court because he goes, "Well, you mentioned white privilege.
Yeah.
Here you are talking about getting the Chelsea lawyers onto the
Yeah.
scene."
Yeah, which is
So,
privilege, right?
no,
You know?
it kind of torpedoed her own argument,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't know. There is a suggestion of a maximum penalty of 6 months.
Wow.
I don't see any of this happening, unfortunately. And I say this unfortunately because I think it'd be a
Unfortunately.
great lesson for her,
Yeah,
you know?
she'd rule the coop in one of those jails, though, wouldn't she? Sam, she'd be one of the tough nuts. She'd be like there. She'd be handing out the macaroni and cheese, on the
Yeah,
plate. She'd be good at it.
she'd be strapping on the bedroom belt, shall we
Be
say.
strapping on. She'd be strapping on those belts every night.
And I would also like to see her. Imagine that she'd sort of swap the canary yellow of the Australian jersey for maybe a silver water green or a Texas orange strip.
Well, would she go to jail here or
She
in?
might even go for the old Washington black stripes, black and white stripes across horizontally. So
But
it could be a different strip for her for at least 6 months. But
it'd be prison there, not here, right?
yeah, but like the incident with the puke and the smashed window,
Yeah.
I'd like to see a prison tag team. So, like
Yeah.
3 months for Sam Kerr,
Yep.
3 months for Christy Mewis.
Yep.
They
Yep.
tag each other in.
Yep.
Whoever chooses to go three first, three later doesn't matter, but you do 3 months each.
Yep.
Bit of accountability. And then, you got your second chance at life and all is forgiven,
Yep.
but
Okay.
probably not forgotten.
So she gets off scot-free.
Yeah.
What's next for Sam Kerr?
Oh, I think she just wants to get through this case and have a nice bottle of hard liquor,
Yeah.
lay low for a while. And, I think people just generally tend to forget after a while. It all seems pretty fresh now. But, you know, she'll try and just get back to what she's doing, play a bit of football, kick some goals. Everyone loves a winner,
Yeah.
even though she's a bit of a loser in this particular instance.
I think I can hear a baby. You got a baby.
There is. It's the baby in the other room. My missus is looking after her for now. So that's all good. This is what happens with the Red Hot Underdogs. Sometimes we have little interruptions.
Yeah.
We're not in a studio. We're not a professional outfit.
Yeah.
We're just a couple of Aussie bludgers trying to do the best we can. Occasionally, we have to deal with a crying baby. But
Yeah.
that's life.
Yeah. That's very Underdog.
But no more of an interruption than what good old Sam, someone else's Sam Kerr.
Okay, so you're hoping she goes to jail. I hope she goes to jail. I think that sounds good,
Yeah, I think so. There won't be too many privileges in there for her.
Yeah.
Nothing of what she's used to. I don't think they'll be having any champagne or getting any fancy gifts delivered to them. It'll be a bit of a culture shock, but I don't think it'll happen. But I would like it to happen for the purpose of accountability and human and personal growth.
Remember, we had this conversation about Jared Hayne, and you were like, nah, he's not going to serve a day in jail. I know what he did is arguably worse, right? But, like you said, nah, he's not going to serve a day in jail. It's celebrity status. And yeah, so you could be wrong, or we could be right, or who knows? We could be crazy.
Oh, we've seen this over and over and over again, this story of the celebrity privilege. I hope that they just do a little bit of time.
Yeah.
That's all. And but I just don't see it. It just doesn't happen. If it's someone else in society, maybe.
Yeah.
But we know. But I don't know. We'll just see how it plays out. But certainly a lot of the sponsorships will go.
Yeah.
And I mean, who's going to be wanting to associate with that? You've actually got
the
footage.
The video of her, just in the cop room, just speaking, has completely destroyed whatever positive thing was connected to her reputation. It is now gone, done and dusted. Absolutely buttoned,
she's swearing like a sailor and just going completely out of her mind. That isn't the actions of somebody who's innocent of what they've done.
Yeah.
But the whole arrogance of not wanting to pay for the guy's window.
Yeah.
So who's meant to do that? What? He's meant to do it, or he's meant to have insurance to cover it? I'm sorry.
Especially that she admitted, or they admitted that they did it. And their reason for not wanting to pay for it, because, we've been kidnapped. Jesus. We're victims. We've been kidnapped. That's their reason.
And just there's like a next level sort of element of narcissism and arrogance here, because you know what? You could just pay up, as you say, and then move on with everything. But you decide not to, and then that's the consequences.
I thought you were going to show us this little screaming baby. I was hoping to.
That's okay. I was like, I'm dealing with these consequences.
Yeah. All right, Drewy. I reckon we can leave it there. I think we're done on Sam. It says 10 minutes to go, but I don't think we need it.
No, I think we've covered this to death. We've flogged this more times than Farlap.
Yep.
It's just a case of watch this space and we'll see how the actual verdict goes in due course.
The next episode, right? The next episode, we're doing sports cheaters or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, awesome. Thumbs up. Send Sam Kerr to jail. Send her to prison. Thumbs up. Send her to prison. Good game.
Yeah. I'm not completely cheering it on, but I would like it, just as I said, that bit of humility, accountability, and personal growth.
Yeah,
You-
personal growth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you picked an own goal. You got to pay for it now.
pay for it. Pay for it. Go to prison.
All good.
You know. All
No
right.
worries.
See you, cuz.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Later. Bye.